Okay, I'm gonna try to go through all the accessories that I've put on my machine. I'm gonna start with the outside, work front to back, and then we'll do the inside. So let's start with the front. We've got the front rack, which I love. It's you can bend it up like that. Pivots nicely, doesn't touch the windshield, which is handy. Okay. And then underneath the hood, you'll see a couple of things. One of which is the location to plug in the remote for the winch. And I've got my wiper fluid reservoir and pump right there that I'll talk about in a bit. Okay. Got a worn 4,000 pound winch in the front, and there's another one in the back. Kolpin side mirrors. The original Can-Am side mirrors that I ordered that were spec'd for the Maverick Trail cracked twice, and they wouldn't refund me after the second time. So I put these cheap Kolpin ones on, and they haven't cracked for no reason other than I did get a rock right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it cracked the top part there. Okay, and then moving along, I've got my Type S light bar I got from Costco, 24-inch, and I'll go through that when we go through the inside of the cab. We have the Can-Am glass windshield, and I put my own homemade wiper system in there, and I'll show you on the inside what the motor came from. What else? We have upgraded Mudlight 2 tires. I went with 27.9 14s all the way around. Tried to keep the width as narrow as possible to the closest to 50-inch width as possible. Beadlock rims. These are STIs. The bronze color goes well with the camo, so it looks kind of like it all matches. Got the cab enclosure, so I've got the upper soft doors, as you can see. Installed those myself. What else on the outside? Again, Mudlight 2s, same size tires. I've got the gear rail. I've got a Kolpin Stronghold mount where I put the gun boot. And in the winter when I go ice fishing, I've got the ice auger boot mount in there as well, so it just slides in and out. It's pretty cool. Another Kolpin chainsaw mount, and I've kind of jerry-rigged it kind of nicely to my rear bumper there. That's the Can-Am one. I've got a 4,500 pound winch. Let me just see. So this one here, really handy. The remote for that is actually right there. I just added these little fork mounts on either side of my roof. The roof is obviously another option that I added. And I can use these little forks in this manner. I'm holding a shovel. Always carry a shovel. And then on the other side, I have an axe as well. Now, I've gone through a couple of iterations of boxes to use in the back. This one is actually from a Polaris dealership. These I think were made for, I think it's a Razor, but this particular box fits perfectly, and I will show you why. Kind of angles with the back form. You can see the shape of it, how it angles. It angles kind of nicely with the back box of the Maverick Trail. And you can see I carry a bunch of stuff. So toe strap, some other kind of straps, saw, my jack. What else? This I'll talk about when we go to the interior, but that's a rear dash cam. So I've got two cameras for that, one on this side, one on this side. They're made for motorcycles to do front and back dash cams, but I put them both on the back. The reason being is I used to have one on the front. It used to fit right in between here. Kept breaking off from the vibration. So I don't really need to do any recording of me driving. I'll do that separately with a GoPro or something. But this allows me to look at both sides. So when I'm hauling my tub trailer, I can look at both sides as I'm driving, and I'll show you how I do that. What else on the outside? Let's talk about that. I really like my aluminum receiver there that I use for towing. It's very light. I had this mount for my winch, custom made by my uncle, and then I had it coated with the truck bed liner. I went to that place and they charged me, I think, just under $100 to coat it. So that's never rusted in the 2 years or so that I've had it. And yeah, it's been good. That's where my solenoid is for the rear winch. Reason being, I just want to have easy access to where I can replace it. Okay. What else? Yeah, I think that's it for the outside for accessories. There's a bunch of accessories on the inside. Okay, so let's start up top. We have the Wet Sounds 4-speaker system here, made for the Maverick Trail. I've got the upper switch kit, I guess you call it. I don't remember the name of it. And it has the wiring harness that extends the switch power lead with ground to the top here. So when I turn this on, powers my switches there. So that works. This is my front and rear HFK dash cam, and then I'll talk about this in a second. That's part of it. This is my wiper motor I got off of a 2010 Dodge Caravan rear wiper motor, and it actually fits really nice. I had to do a little bit of tinkering, but works good. What else? What else? I did a custom 2-inch mount on the seat, just giving me 2 inches higher of a view. So when I'm sitting, it used to look like this. Now I can see a bit better over the top, and it actually makes the driving experience much more enjoyable. I put in the largest Yuasa battery, AGM battery you can get. I did do a cutout of the plastic underneath to make everything fit. So I used to have two batteries in here. I decided to go with one larger amp hour battery, the largest one I can find from Yuasa. I think it's a GYZ or something like that. In between the passenger and driver seat, I have my emergency pack that I can slip in and out, and I'll go through that later with what I carry in that. Okay. Got the dome light. And then we'll go through the operation of some of these accessories. Okay, so here I am on the interior. Now, for switches, I added for the washer fluid right there. What else did I add? Up here, that's my wiper. That's my LED light bar, and that's for my rear winch. These are obviously what's factory, which is the winch on the right and my low and high beams. My 4x4 switch, rear diff lock, Eco Sport mode. So those are all factory. Okay, let's talk about this. I have these mounts for my tablet and my GPS. So I installed those. This is, so I'll always drive with my GPS and then my tablet here, which is a hardened ruggedized tablet from Samsung. So if I go through the operation of the HFK dash cam, what I need to do is just press and hold this button. Turns on Wi-Fi. You can see on the screen there the SSID and the password. So go to my app. And it's going to tell you that we need to connect to the Wi-Fi. So let's go and click on settings. Boop. Or we just wait and it pops up because I've connected to it before, so it's automatic. Then once that's connected, I can click next. And now I have those rear cameras that I can have picture in picture with one on one side, the bigger one is on the other. We can swap those around and it reverses them. I could then just pick one camera on one side or another camera on the other side. And so when I'm driving, at least I can see behind me what's going on. Because as you know, with these side-by-sides, it's a pain in the arse to be able to see anything. Okay. So that's that part. Now, let's go turn on my light bar. And the default for it is all white. That's what I've got. So now if I click on that app, you can see that it says the Smart Off-Road has been highlighted. And what we wait for is for the Bluetooth connection to get connected from my tablet to the Bluetooth module for the light bar. Okay, and it did power off because it has a auto sensing feature where if the battery is not being charged, so if the vehicle is not on, it will not drain the battery. So I'm going to try to turn it on here. So now with it running, I have various presets. When I'm hunting, it turns the lights red. Let's go take a look. You can see that. It's got other presets. So I can go into here. This is just for normal driving and I'll leave it like that usually. There's other modes. You can do a strobe. That one is spot and color light, and you can configure those with various colors. This is the color one. Change the intensity. Select our colors. Now it's pink. Whatever you want. It's pretty flexible. My hunt is always red, and my default before I power it off is white. So this is what it's going to be when I turn my switch on after I exit the app. So I also have a GPS. I use Google Maps. So when I'm in my area where I go hunt, I have offline maps loaded. Whatever it is, that's where I went fishing. And when I'm on Wi-Fi, I gotta download those maps again. But anyway, I'll just use this for instance. And so when I'm driving, I'll open it up in split screen with my camera. And so when I'm driving, I can have rear view and then follow my GPS. But I also have this guy here that I use as well. So just some options. The other thing I wanted to show you was my speaker system and how I connect to it via Bluetooth. So that's on there. You can see the Bluetooth light start to flash, and if I have Bluetooth already on, I don't know if you can see that. Usually it doesn't ask, but it is now. I'll just get rid of split screen. Okay, and then I have some offline music in my Amazon Music. You can use whatever app you want for streaming music to the speakers. And then I'll get in trouble from YouTube for playing something. So I don't know. Oh, those expired. Oh, that's nice. I have to go and get some new music. What's happening here with this one? Yeah, it's all expired. So I gotta download some additional songs. But yeah, it simply plays on here. Let's see if there's anything. Yeah, no internet. All my offline music needs to get refreshed because I haven't done it in a while on this. So that's just the way that Amazon Music works. That's all. Yeah, so I use this device for playing music while I'm driving, and then I'll put my maps and my dash cam, which isn't connected anymore because I powered off the side-by-side. So you can see that it's now in AP mode, and then in theory this will come back and connect Wi-Fi, and we'll just wait for it this time, see what happens. Or not. There we go, it's connected. And we're back. But as I'm driving it, it works pretty good. So, yeah. And that's about it for accessories, other than this guy here, an additional 12 volt with USB. Cool. So, a couple of gripes that I have, which I've addressed one of them, which is the seating position on these trails, and I guess in general on these models with sports and the new Commanders. From what I understand is, I believe the seating positions are just a bit too low for my needs. For rec utility, I don't really do any, desert racing or jumps or anything like that. For me, I like to have better visibility, so I adjusted by creating that 2-inch lift. That's there. And then the other issue, you see this line? That occurred when I unzipped my window and then rolled it up and snapped it. So, and when you roll it up and you leave it like that for a very long time, it creates that mark or that crease that just will never go away. So there's been a definite noticeable visibility issues, or just, it used to be clear and now it's just not. The one time I've ever rolled it down, and that's what happened. So yeah, just wasn't a fan of that. Other than that, I think we're okay. Yeah. Thanks, man. So now I'm going to take off all my ropes and stuff inside the glove box and everything, because I have to bring it in. I'm getting a heater installed, so they want me to remove all visible accessories, because they won't pay for it if it gets stolen. So I'm going to lock up this box and then just take everything else off that's accessible for thieves. So we'll go through all the stuff that I carry. So now we're going to go through, hold on, what I carry in my survival pack. I use this when, let's say, I have to go and follow a game that I shot, or I take it and I have to go in the bush for emergency or whatever. I take this with me. So, rope. More rope, marking tape, that covers that. My saw, handy when you're light something. Backup GPS. What about if it runs out of battery? Extra batteries. Headlight. So that's very handy. Covers that compartment. Let's go to the next one. Gloves, paper towel, toilet paper, candle in the Ziploc. Life straw. A little survivable emergency blanket. Food. First aid kit and a waterproof bag. More food. So that's it for that compartment. Okay, one knife, lighter, another flashlight, another knife. We have a fire starter, afterbite, another lighter, another lighter, sharpener, knife sharpener, another lighter, and another lighter. I'm not running out of lighters. Okay. I have a flare. It's handy for starting a fire when the wood is wet or for emergencies when you need one. Disinfecting wipes. And the hand warmers. They come in really handy because, you know, it gets cold up here. And some more hand warmers. And that is it for my emergency pack. Okay, so I'm going to be taking this off last. This is just 90 feet of a tow rope that I use, 20,000 pound test. It's a winch line, but off of my old truck. But yeah, I just carry this on the side by side. It's come in handy a few times to get that extra length to help pull someone out. And then off of the back, we've got my gun boot. I've just slid off. Got my jack. I got my sandwich toaster. We have a shovel, chair, axe, my porta potty, some additional rope just for tying stuff down, this mule tape, best thing I've ever found. It's light and it's strong. This one's 1250 pound test. And then we've got my toe strap, snatch block, shackle, and then this is my chainsaw that I just pulled out of the bracket here. So that's the majority of the stuff that I need to remove before I take it into service. And then I'm going to go to the inside and take out the stuff from the glove box and so forth. So, but yeah, we got the saw, comes in handy. Yep, just some basic stuff. Okay, so this side here is the small glove box, and this was the bigger glove box. So if we go through the little one first, obviously I need my cigar cutter, a little bit of Gorilla Glue, a couple of tools, chopstick, lighter, an additional buckle. This one is micro USB, batteries, Advil, pressure gauge. This is for my GPS power cable, just a USB Type-C power cable for the tablet. In the middle you saw I had these RAM mounts. This had my Samsung ruggedized tablet mounted in there. It's my GPS RAM mount with my GPS. Then in the bigger glove box, the winch, remote cable, some masks and paper towels, bug spray, cloth, a bunch of tools in here. I've got two goggles. One goggle, the larger size, and then this is a smaller one. I don't know if you can see it. Let's check it out. I use these as well. This is the Can-Am toolkit. Of course, it doesn't come with the belt changing tool, so I bought that, threw that in there. There's your part number. This is going to go back into, actually I might keep it. Who knows if they're going to steal it. Another, this is a buck knife. It's a pretty good one. Multi-tool, a couple of air gauges, more cables, power cables. Never leave home without it. JB Weld. And a whole bunch of little tools in here. One moment. So we got matches, wire strippers, some more tools. I need lots of Torx, various kinds, because that's what the machine requires. More knives. Just a bunch of stuff. Yeah, just various stuff. So that stuff was in the glove box. Okay, so I've emptied my box. And I'm going to show you what was in there. So we have a portable chair, first aid pack, the oil for the Maverick trail, toilet paper, the bags for the porta potty, rag, gloves, bug spray, air compressor, charging power pack so I can boost the vehicle. I've used that a few times. Booster cables, various brackets, a whole bunch of tools and sockets, fixed flat. Use it on my buddy's tub trailer, worked great. Duct tape, our Can-Am belt, a bent screwdriver just for messing around in case you ever need to do something and you don't care if you destroy that flathead. Comes in handy actually sometimes. A little thing of water, fishing rod, a little rope, a whole bunch of tools in this pack. So again, for sockets, various sizes, screwdrivers, various kinds of tools in here. A little bit of everything. Electrical tape. A whole bunch of sockets again with bits. In here. I have drill bits, nuts and bolts from lower grade to grade 8 bolts. Big wrench. Wrecker bar with the 14 size socket for my tires, so I can change the tires. It comes in really handy. Wire crimpers, a little bit of that muffler tape. What else do we got? Fishing lures and leaders if you ever want to hit a lake. Various nuts and bolts. Love this pack. A little bit of a small drill with the charger, screwdrivers. This is the Can-Am steering arm that typically breaks when you run into a little stump on the road. This is the first thing that goes. So I've got a couple of those. More wrenches. I've got a piece in there, the yellow is a piece of electrical extension cord. And I've used that probably 3 times over the course of my quadding career to hardwire either mine or my buddy's fans, because the thermocoupler has blown, and so we can hardwire these to the battery and the fan keeps going so your vehicle doesn't overheat. So that kind of covers what was in the box. So I'm sure everyone has their ideas, but for what I do and the territory that I go and the activities that I do, yeah, this kind of covers off most of our bases. Hope that helps.